Hello everyone, my name is Prima, and welcome to another episode of Speculative Evolution Project Pokemon. Welcome to the first video of 2021. I'd figure it'd be a good idea to start with one of these, since I know y'all love them so much. Anyway, I hope that y'all had some good holidays, and if not, then at least some great days. Hope y'all are doing good, and let's hope that this year will certainly be better than the last. Anyway, for those new to this series, this is a series where I try to recreate things from the Pokemon world in real life, through the magic of evolution and natural selection, whether that be the Pokemon themselves, their types, or just other things. Last time I covered a type, and that typing was Psychic, and as you can probably guess from the title, today I'm going to be covering the Steel type, which the patrons have chosen last time. So, the Steel type. More often than not, it's depicted as a Pokemon being made out of, well, literally steel. Now, steel is a human invention, typically made out of iron and some carbon, so nothing really like it exists in the animal kingdom. There are a lot of animal materials out there, though, that are extremely tough, such as the shells of conches, armadillo and pangolin armor, and the silk of spiders is even stronger than steel, meaning that Ariados could have more bulk if it just spun that web all around itself. Actually, that sounds really cool. Can we get an evolution for that? Okay, so if steel doesn't really exist on any animal, how could you possibly make it work in real life? How about a human knight? Yeah, there you go. There's your Steel type. End of the video. Goodbye, everyone. No, of course not. That'd just be way too boring. We need a real Steel type. But luckily for us, deep in the ocean, there's actually an animal out there that comes pretty close to it being a true Steel type. This weird-looking creature is called the scaly-foot snail. It's a gastropod that lives near hydrothermal vents. These vents expel superheated water, which may reach up to 400 degrees Celsius. That's a lot. These vents are also possibly responsible for a lot of early life thriving, due to the fact that they spew out chemicals and minerals that organisms like bacteria can convert into energy using chemosynthesis. That in turn provides a whole lot of stuff for a bunch of organisms living down there, like tube worms. They're cool, and others. And that's how you get a super unique ecosystem down there, where most people probably wouldn't expect it to be at all. And naturally, living in such extreme conditions basically forces you to evolve in extreme ways. But this snail goes even further than most, considering it's the only animal that we know of that has something special that no one else has. Its shell is made up of 3 layers. The innermost layer is made up of Argonite. Then the middle layer is made out of Periostracum. Both of these are, well, pretty common in mollusks. But the outer layer is special. This layer is made out of iron sulfide. Yeah, that's right, freaking iron! Its foot, which in gastropod biology refers to the part which you would assume is the tummy. You know, which it moves with. This foot has iron mineralized parts on the sides, kinda like it has armor around it. Very unusual, but very awesome. So, very weird little guy indeed. But how could you turn something like this into a true Steel type? As in an animal that's actually made out of steel? Well, first we have to look at how steel is made. The first step begins with iron ore, rocks, and minerals where a metallic iron is extracted from. This then is made into clumps which can be used in a furnace. While at the same time coal is cleaned of any impurities, which creates coke. Not the soda, but instead a fuel with a high carbon content. These two materials are then mixed together in a furnace, and you get molten iron from which steel is made out of. Manufacturers then often add more to get a specific desired result, such as adding cobalt, titanium, tungsten, and more. So one thing is clear, you need a lot of heat to create steel. To be specific, you need about 871 degrees Celsius. And the carbon needs to be at a maximum of 2%. Because this stuff doesn't appear in nature, how would an animal even evolve it? I mean, this is completely new stuff. Though, theoretically, with enough heat, it is possible. I'm far from a steel expert though, so I might get some things wrong, but let's again put our focus back on that weird little gastropod, as that is our best hope. The hottest a hydrothermal vent can get is about 400 degrees Celsius, so that's almost still half missing. You might just think, ooh, what about volcanoes, right? They're hot enough. And yeah, I did think about those, and that would be super rad. You know, real life Macargo and all. Problem is, these gastropods rely on these vents for their iron armor, and volcanoes just don't give them the minerals necessary to develop it. Unless these vents suddenly get twice as hot, I'm afraid that a true steel type is just not possible, and that the snail is the closest we can get. So, sorry y'all, I just can't seem to think about anything. It just seems impossible. But, fortunately for us, not all steel types are, well, made out of steel. Melmetal appears to be based on mercury, and Bronzong seems to be made out of bronze, not steel. Berserker is also a really interesting case. Since this Pokemon is a pure steel type, you'd expect there to be, some steel, but that doesn't seem to be the case. You see that helmet it has on its head? Well, that's actually just made out of hardened hair. Weird, huh? So, while most steel-type Pokemon likely are just made out of steel, it could also just mean that they're made out of something that's just as hard, or even harder than steel, which gives us a lot more breathing room. Hold up a minute. Could that mean that perhaps spiders are steel-type? I mean, the silk that they produce is harder than steel, so what if a spider just evolved to spin its web all around itself, for self-defense or camouflage? Would that then technically count as a steel type? Or how about the various prey items that spiders eat? Before they eat them, they spin them around in their silk. So could those be considered steel type? Like, how about a steel and ghost type fly Pokemon? Actually, I want that. That sounds cool. Going back to snails again, there's a group of aquatic snails called limpets. And their teeth. Oh man, their teeth are crazy, even stronger than spider silk. And they have over 100 rows of these teeth. But only 10 are used in eating. On top of being one of the most toughest organic materials out there, their teeth are also made up of mineralized iron. And wait a second. Since Berserker can be considered a steel type, just because it's seemingly made out of a material that's harder or just as tough as steel, well, then surely if anything, this also counts for these limpets, right? With their iron mineralized teeth that are harder than steel. Plus, iron, iron head, iron defense, iron tail. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's your proof right there. And they're not the only mollusk like this. Chitons also have teeth that are really cool. Their teeth are made up of magnetite, a rock material which is one of the main iron ores. And these animals can also detect and respond to magnetism. That's not entirely steely, but still pretty dope. Actually, could that be considered rock type as well? Or how about electric type due to the magnetism? Maybe another time, perhaps. Wow, so it seems that mollusks are actually the most steel type out of all animals out there. That is honestly so cool. These guys definitely deserve much more praise than they're given. Out of all the animals out there, I bet you didn't expect mollusks to be this special. Or maybe you did. Wow, would you look at that? I guess steel type already technically exists then. So I didn't really have to evolve one or to create one. That's cool. That's a first. Going into this video, I honestly had no idea what I was even going to do with the steel type. But I did figure out that something invertebrate was going to happen. Let's be real. Those invertebrates are always up to something weird. Sorry if this video was shorter than the others. But hey, if something like Berserker with just hardened hair can be considered a steel type, well, then that's just it, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I could try to make my video longer because, YouTube really loves it when you do that. But, I don't know, that'd just be fluff at this point. I've said what I needed to say and I've made my point. Well then, which type am I going to cover next? Honestly, I don't have a clue. That's all up to my patrons. So if you yourself want to become a patron, it's only $1 a month, and if you want to have some influence on my future videos, I'd recommend checking it out. It's in the description down below. If you click on it, you'll see the 16 remaining types. Just click on one of those and yeah, that'll be it. That'll be your vote. You have until the 9th to do so. And be sure to keep looking out for the channel, as the next Speculative Evolution episode is going to be all about Magnezone, and that one, I feel like y'all are really going to like that one. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. I got lots of cool stuff on the channel, and always more coming soon. And with that being said, I hope y'all have a good day, night, or morning, and as always, take care.